Welcome to the deep dive. So today we're zeroing in on something really fascinating for businesses. How they can actually tap into the wealth of information they already possess.
Yeah, they're historical documents, customer records, supplier stock.
Exactly. That often just sits there. And we're going to unpack how Lilium Software Solutions approaches this, specifically through their AIHorizons platform.
Right. Lilium, they focus on delivering very tailored tech solutions. It's project-based, and they aim for premium, customizable tools, modular too, so they fit into what a company already uses.
And they've got some interesting solutions, don't they? I saw things like Portium for secure remote access.
Yeah, and Nexus ESG for ESG reporting, which is huge now.
Right. And NG Mail, their own mail server, plus Lilium Next for updating older systems.
A whole suite. But yeah, today, AIHorizons is the star, particularly how it tackles that historical data challenge.
Okay, AIHorizons, Lilium's generative AI for businesses.
That's the one. And what's really exciting, I think, is its potential to dig into all that historical customer and supplier paperwork. Pull out real, actionable insights.
You mean the stuff companies have just accumulated?
Exactly. All those records, files, maybe even physical paper sometimes. It's often this surprisingly rich but totally underused resource.
Okay, so let's dive deeper into this historical documentation idea. What kind of info are we actually talking about that's just sitting in these, archives?
Well, it's everything, really. Past customer account details, how your supply chain relationships evolved, old invoices, communication history.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. These archives, whether they're digital or, like you said, still gathering dust in cabinets, they're packed with insights, trends, supplier dynamics, even where things went wrong operationally in the past.
But they just sit there.
For many companies, yeah, it becomes this untapped reserve. The issue is just accessing it and making sense of it all.
It sounds like having this amazing library of your own business history, but nobody ever, cracks open a book.
That's a great analogy.
So what's the actual downside, then, of ignoring all this historical stuff?
Well, the main thing is what you could call analytical waste. It sounds a bit dramatic, but
it's real.
It's very real. Companies miss out on spotting crucial patterns that could lead to smarter purchasing, maybe more efficient inventory, a much better grasp of customer needs over time.
So missed opportunities.
Definitely. And you might end up with redundant processes because you're not learning from past inefficiencies. Plus, decision fatigue. If you're not using the lessons already learned, making choices can feel overwhelming.
And you mentioned the value decays.
Right. That data isn't static. Its usefulness can actually decrease if it's not, actively analyzed and put to work.
Okay. So this is where AIHorizons is meant to step in. How does Lilium's platform help turn this underused information into something valuable?
AIHorizons is designed to be this really adaptable AI component. It can handle the complexity of modern businesses.
Adaptable how?
Well, it can be the core brain of a whole AI system, or you could integrate it into systems you already have, just to boost their capabilities.
Okay.
The key is how it blends different technologies. Natural language processing, that's the AI reading and understanding the language in your documents.
Right, understanding the text.
Exactly. Then machine learning, which spots the patterns and learns from the data itself. And of course, robust data management to handle the sheer volume. It's all about taking that raw, often messy data and turning it into practical intelligence.
And Lilium says this isn't just theoretical, right? They call it a well-practiced solution. What does that actually mean in practice?
Yeah, that's important. They stress that AIHorizons isn't brand new off the shelf. It's already been used in different ways.
Like what?
Things like powering custom ChatGPT-style solutions, making research faster by analyzing huge amounts of text, doing complex calculations, even helping with automation and writing code.
Okay, so it's been tested in the real world.
Exactly. That experience across different applications suggests it's reliable, it's mature. And what's also interesting is their focus isn't just API integration with some generic AI. They talk about giving companies the tools to host their own AI models privately, trained on their specific data.
Okay. So not just plugging into a big general AI, but having something trained specifically on your company's information. That sounds like a big difference.
It's a significant advantage, potentially. A one-size-fits-all AI might miss the nuances of your specific business history and terminology.
Makes sense. So what are the key features of AIHorizons that make it particularly good at analyzing this historical data then?
Well, there are several. First, its versatility. Lilium claims it can basically handle any AI task a customer needs because it can be fine-tuned and customized so much.
Okay.
Second, it's designed for deep user understanding, meaning it learns what information you're actually looking for and adapts to provide that effectively personalization.
Right. And you mentioned modularity before.
Yes, modularity, crucial for fitting in. You can use it as an API call or a standalone tool for a specific job, or embed it as a component within a bigger system. Lots of options.
That modularity sounds really practical. Companies often don't want to rip and replace everything.
Precisely. And building on that, the AI model itself is customizable. This is huge. It can be trained specifically on your company's unique data, your industry jargon, using flexible, deep learning techniques.
So it speaks your language, literally.
In a sense, yes. And its advanced natural language processing is key here, too. It needs to understand text from all sorts of sources, standard documents, sure, but also maybe email archives, notes, transcriptions.
Right. Data isn't always neat and tidy.
Never is. And finally, it's built for seamless integration and scalability. Modern tech stack designed to grow with you as your data needs evolve.
So a company could perhaps start small and then scale up, or weave it into what they already have.
Exactly. That flexibility seems core to the design.
And you touched on implementation.
Yeah.
API, standalone, component.
Right. They give those options. API lets your existing apps tap into the AI, stand alone for specific tasks, or integrated into a larger architecture. They even mention a UI isn't mandatory, suggesting the focus is really on the core AI engine.
Interesting. Okay, so we have this powerful, adaptable AI. How does it actually help a business get, more value out of all that historical customer and supplier documentation we talked about? Can you give some, real-world examples?
Absolutely. The applications are pretty significant. One major one is data-driven decision-making. AIHorizons can process not just the structured data like sales numbers or order dates.
Easy stuff.
Kinda, yeah. But also the unstructured stuff hidden in, say, old customer feedback forms or supplier contracts or emails from years back.
The messy stuff.
The messy but often really rich stuff. By finding patterns in all that historical information, you can gain insights into how customer tastes changed or what made supplier relationships succeed or fail.
Like learning from history.
Exactly. You might even anticipate future trends based on past behavior. This goes way beyond basic reporting. It can really inform strategy in marketing, supply chain, everywhere.
That's powerful. Instead of just surface-level numbers, you could understand the why behind them by analyzing years of interactions.
Precisely.
So it's another key area.
Another big one is automation and efficiency. Think about just the sheer variety of documents companies pile up. Invoices, contracts, POs, shipping manifests.
Oh yeah, endless.
Right. AIHorizons can be trained to automatically pull out and categorize key information from these historical docs.
So less manual digging.
Way less. It drastically cuts down the manual effort for things like compliance checks, audits, or even just finding specific details later, saves time, resources, and importantly, reduces human error.
I can see that. Instead of someone spending hours searching old contracts for a specific clause,
the AI could potentially find it almost instantly. It turns a slow, manual task into a fast, automated one.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Now, you mentioned earlier, and the materials highlight this too, this proprietary advantage that AIHorizons offers. What does that mean in practice?
Yeah, this is a really key differentiator they emphasize. It means AIHorizons is designed to work exclusively with your company's own internal data.
Not public data, not generic data sets.
Exactly. The insights it generates, the AI models it builds, they are deeply specific to the unique context of your business, your history, your customers, and suppliers.
Okay. And why is that proprietary focus such a big deal? What benefits does it unlock compared to a more general AI?
Well, the benefits are pretty substantial. First, you get much more accurate predictions and highly relevant insights because the AI learns from your specific reality, not some broad average.
Makes sense. More tailored.
Very tailored. Second, it lets you develop unique strategies based on patterns only found in your data. That can be a genuine competitive edge that others just can't copy easily.
Right, because they don't have your history.
Precisely. And crucially, there's the data privacy and compliance angle. By keeping the training and analysis in-house, you maintain much tighter control over your sensitive historical information. It's not going out to some external general-purpose AI.
That's a huge point for many businesses, I imagine.
Absolutely. Data security and privacy are paramount.
Okay, so bringing it back to where we started, those historical documents, how does AIHorizons specifically help transform these often ignored records into real strategic assets.
It does it in a few critical ways. Like we said, it automates the extraction and classification, just making the data usable is the first step.
Getting it out of the virtual filing cabinet.
Exactly. Then it uncovers those hidden purchase and supply patterns within those historical records. That leads to better forecasting, smarter resource allocation.
Using the past to plan the future better.
Right. And because it manages the data securely in-house, it helps with compliance and data integrity for all that historical info.
Yeah.
And the end result, it enables faster, much more informed decision-making because that critical historical information is suddenly accessible and analyzed. It shifts you from just reacting to current events to being proactive, informed by your own company's deep history.
It really does sound like turning static records into something dynamic, something that fuels future success.
That's the goal.
And the final point in the materials we look at really underlines the idea of a sustainable path forward with data.
Right.
Why is sticking with, the old ways becoming unsustainable?
Well, think about it. The sheer volume of data businesses create now is just exploding. It's accelerating constantly.
More and more digital stuff.
Exactly. Relying on manual archiving, maybe fragmented storage systems, trying to make sense of it with spreadsheets. It just doesn't scale. It's inefficient.
And probably costly, too, in hidden ways.
Surprisingly costly, yes. Storage, manpower, and you make it incredibly hard, maybe impossible, to get timely value from that information. AI-powered solutions like AIHorizons represent a fundamental shift.
From cost center to asset.
Precisely. Transforming that historical documentation from what feels like a burden, something you just have to store and manage, into a continuously valuable asset. Something that supports ongoing innovation and helps drive operational excellence.
Okay, so as we wrap up our discussion today, what's the single most important takeaway you think our listeners should remember about leveraging their historical documentation?
I think the core message is that the historical documentation your business already has holds this huge, often completely untapped potential.
It's already there.
It's already there. And AIHorizons by Lilium offers a specific proprietary way to digitize it, unify it, analyze it deeply, and really turn it into actionable insights that drive actual business value.
And for someone listening, thinking about their own company's stacks of data, what's the key benefit for them?
By truly leveraging the information they already possess, their own history, businesses can gain a significant competitive advantage. They can make much smarter strategic decisions, grounded in past reality, and ultimately boost their operational efficiency. It's about realizing your business history isn't just a record, it's a powerful asset waiting to be unlocked.
That is a really powerful way to frame it. So a final thought for everyone listening. Consider the hidden stories, the potential advantages locked away inside your company's historical archives. What could you uncover if you gave them a closer look? Powered by AI.
It's definitely something to think about.
Absolutely. If you are interested in exploring how AIHorizons and Lilium Software Solutions might help your organization tap into this potential, you can find more details on their website, www.liliumsolutions.com.
And you can also reach out directly via email. The addresses are amir@liliumsolutions.com or office@liliumsolutions.com.
Right. And I mentioned connecting with Amir L. and Mir Brandwine on LinkedIn as well. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive.